Hello, my name is Natasha Stonebridge and I'm a first year PhD student at the University of Gloucestershire based in the UK. I'd like to talk today about my study called Springtime in Lockdown. The Springtime in Lockdown study presented an opportunity to explore how a person's interactions with and their connection to nature could be a protective factor of well-being and resilience during the COVID-19 lockdown. I had anticipated that people were experiencing high levels of prolonged anxiety and that nature may be disconnected from them. My PhD project had begun in February 2020 under the umbrella title, How Do People's Experiences of Nature Nurture Them? Originally, data gathering would have involved in situ observation, focus groups, face-to-face interviews with people participating in nature-based activities and interventions, such as on our city farm. Unfortunately, lockdown would limit this original proposal and affected my ability to data gather, so I had to think again. Also, my own experiences with nature had led me to want to understand how others were doing during lockdown. How were other people coping? Nature-based activities, which I'd typically undertaken, had been affected by the restrictions of lockdown. Were other people experiencing a disconnect with nature? This put more importance in understanding how our own version of nature helped nurture us, specifically through a difficult time like lockdown. Nature has become hot news. You can see from some of the citations I've listed here, a lot of traction on social media, a lot of images shared. One of the interesting things is the Wildlife Trust 30 Days Wild campaign, that is an annual thing. Nearly 500,000 people had signed up to it, and I'm sure a lot more people got involved, which would mean them interacting with nature on a daily basis in the month of June. So lots of people were out there interacting with nature, and I was keen to understand some of those. The lockdown timeline for the UK was interesting. We had the stay home message from the 23rd of March, where people were only allowed to be outside of their home to exercise for 1 hour a day. Here I was intrigued to understand how people had to decide how to spend that time outdoors. Also then, from the 10th of May, which was a good week into my study, the government relaxed lockdown restrictions. So it was interesting to see the difference when people had a little bit more time to spend outdoors, where they would spend it. The Springtime in Lockdown survey launched online via social media channels on the 30th of April 2020, and I thank the university for their speedy turnaround on ethics for that. I made use of opportunity and snowball sampling to gather participants. It was interesting to see how participants were sharing and the other channels they were sharing the link on, for example, WhatsApp. Participants were anyone over 18 who were experiencing lockdown during the COVID-19 pandemic and could be resident in any country. Some of my participants came from Iceland, Australia, America. Participants also had the option to opt into a follow-up telephone interview and further studies. The first phase ran up to the 31st of May and the second is still ongoing. It's a mixed method study to give me a range of insight to capture both common themes and also distinctive responses. The survey comprised pre-assigned responses and free text and took about 20 minutes to complete. Pre-assigned responses were things like, do you think potted plants are nature? Do you think coastal walks are nature? Free text allow participants to their own classification as to what they understood nature to be and what being in nature meant to them. The survey also featured 3 short-form questionnaires that looked at subjective well-being, resilience and connectedness to nature. Longitudinal data were captured as participants opted into the follow-up surveys, and this is happening now. To date, 254 participants have completed the first survey and 150 of those have gone on to complete the second. 80 plus of them opted in for telephone interviews and I have conducted over 30 of those. I'm now analysing quantitative data and transcribing qualitative data. I've really enjoyed this study and it seems that the participants have enjoyed it too. It's really made them think about things they haven't for a while. This was an overarching theme I've captured so far. If you would like more information and to access some prelim data when it's available, please go to www.hera-lab.com. The information's on the slide. Thank you for your time.